Dear ladies and gentlemen, I was very pleased to receive a call and invitation, together with email, to speak on a second conference of European Union in Brussels related to Industry 5.0. I started to prepare my presentation. Then it was cancelled. Not the conference itself, but my presence, with the explanation I have nothing to say. I thought about it. I am the father of Industry 5.0 and I do implement it for 4 years already. I decided not to waste my time in the presentation I made. And I would like to share it with you. It's up to you to decide. And it's up to you which way you will choose. So let's start. The presentation is named Industry 5.0 from virtual to physical. But first we have to answer two questions. The first one is who we are. We have many titles. We are managers, we are presidents, we are chairmen, we are students, producers, teachers, fathers and mothers. We have many titles. But we forgot one. We are human beings. We are living not like this man on courtyard of Pilsen Brewery. And if we recognize who we are, we can answer the second question. Where we live. We live in beautiful cities like Rublev, like Plzeň, Paris, Bratislava. We live in beautiful cities which we fill with trash. And we work in factories which produce even more trash, and we produce products which frequently, before reaching the end user, become trash as well. We store them in big warehouses full with air, and we call for more space to store it. And at the end of the day, we walk around the outputs of our work and we go home. And there maybe we recognize that something what was once called food, it's called bio-waste today. And we look at the red sky above our heads and we ask ourselves where we live. I will answer this question to you. We live on this planet. It's called the planet Earth. And I have its image from the 70s in my head from the very first time I saw it. And I did not know at the time that in English there exists a beautiful word, blue marble. Unfortunately, or fortunately, a few years ago I saw another image. It is the same planet, and with it 170 million pieces of space trash called space debris. These are particles smaller than 10 centimeters, plus you have to add 650,000 10 to 30 centimeters and about 80,000 above 80 centimeters. Maybe this is the answer why no aliens landed on the Earth, because who will land on a landfill? Maybe the scavengers, and this is not a nice image, is it? NASA needs $1 million to visualize this point, but we don't need so much. For $1, did it this painter. And he visualizes the earth and the industry and the human much more better. We dig inside with the one and only intention to have more, no matter what. More it's needed. But do you know what? At the moment on the planet live 7.7 billion people. But in 1812, the first global counting of population take place, and the people came to 1 billion. 100 years later, it was 1.5, which means in 100 years the global population grew up by 50%. In a second 100 years, despite the 2 world wars, there is a 5 times as much people as 100 years before. In 2050, there should be 11 billion people on the planet. Do you remember the last image I showed you? I do. And this was the reason why I found and developed and implement Industry 5.0. How the industry will look like in the age of Industry 5.0, the volumes will decrease, but the profitability will increase. Single use would be a sign of failure. 475 trillion US dollars saved from not wasting will be used for development, and delivered results will be the evaluation criteria, not the stories told. People will use machines wisely, will not be used by machine as we did it today, and wasting would be prevented from the very beginning. Transparency will deliver planning, and value-added people will get the biggest share of the profit. We will change the world like we changed this broken vinyl record, with craft of human mind and power. And how the society will look in the Industry 5.0? Wasting will be understood as wrong. The age would be no KPI, and brownfield's new life will grow. We stop running and change it to walking. Not the stories but the results will define success, and society will reunion. Common language will help to understand. And not the quantity but the quality would be followed. This is my home. And you have to put the same question for you. Unfortunately, until now, we are trying to build our future on the top of pyramids. One of them is a waste pyramid. For more than 30 years, the waste industry tells us we should reduce, reuse, recycle. Tell us what we should do to generate more waste. And this tool is not working at all. Because of that, I developed a new one. I developed a groundstone on which we can build our future. It's called 6R, and it's a cubic. Firstly, we have to recognize whether something has to become waste. It's hard. But even harder is to reconsider what to do with it. But the best part about 6R is to do it. Just realize the change. How was the Industry 5.0 roadmap? Quite simple. On the December 1st, 2015, the principle of Industry 5.0 has been introduced in one article named same as this presentation. But already 1 year before, the first project started with the same mindset. 2 months later, or 3 months later, first international consultation took place. 1 year later, 6R was defined. Another year later, Industry 5.0 definition was published. And then mirrored on medium.com, which helped to increase the visibility. On the November 22nd, 2018, European Union hold the first Industry 5.0 conference. Without me, of course. And 1 month later, I finished the Industry 5.0 implementation guideline or manual. 9 months later, the Association of Industry 5.0 started to take place. And then I was invited, and my invitation was cancelled. I'm spending majority of my days in my boiler suit in factories working with the people over there, preventing waste happen. I do it almost every single day because I would like to avoid similar images to happen. What did I achieve? Not much. I have prevented, together with my partners, 375,000 tons of materials and products to become waste. I have driven with my cars almost 180,000 kilometers in the years. I published over 970 articles, participated in 86 events, made 78 workshops, and realized 43 projects in 4 countries with 0 funding, 0 investors' money, all in my time with the money I generate from the profits I realize. There are many industries which benefit from industrial upcycling. There are many who benefit from Industry 5.0 already. But there are much more to reach. And this is why I record this presentation. And this is why I was happy that finally even the European Union would like to know the truth. I was wrong. So, what is Industry 5.0? It is not the 5th industrial revolution, not at all, this is wrong. It's the first ever industrial evolution ever led by man, a human. It's a new mindset of people and businesses from wasteful to wasteless. It's delivering results without need of capital investment, and it's based on systematic waste prevention called industrial upcycling. It's utilizing existing from the rich on-the-ground mines. It's based on transparency, profit sharing, and efficiency. Industry 5.0, it's not a sales tool or a product. It is evolution. And that's the end of the presentation. I would like to thank you for the most valuable asset you gave me, your time. And I hope we will be able to create wasteless world together. And I prepared for you one question from the audience, which I get 1 year ago in French ruble. Mr. Ada, if we know how will the Industry 5.0 look like, can you tell us how would the Industry 6.0 look like? I have to apologize. I had no answer at the time, but I promised if I know, I will let them know. 1 month later, I sent the information to the organizer to share it. And I had the answer for you now. There are only 2 possible scenarios how the Industry 6.0 will look like. The first one is when the 6.0 will be the next step after Industry 4.0 implementation. After the digitalization of the work, it's needed just one simple thing to be happy. To digitalize the human being. So we will be able to enjoy the happiness, and data do not need light at all. The question which I cannot answer is whether the human being in digital form will still be a human being. But there is a second way. Industry 5.0 is the first industrial evolution ever led by man. Industry 6.0 will be a branch of the evolution, and the world will look like this. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I have chosen my way 6 years ago. Right now it's your turn to decide on which world you would prefer to live. Have a nice day, free of waste and wasting in all its form.